You can ask the first question.
Okay. Did you ever think for a second that you would be as successful as you are now?
In one sense, no. Because when I was your age, I had no idea I'd be doing this. But I never doubted that I would be successful in life at something.
When did you decide you wanted to do this?
Actually, I didn't really decide to do this, the counseling piece. I was a teacher. And then my husband and I were pastors. And I kind of fell into counseling through that avenue. And I became a director of one of the centers, of which we have 3. And 5 years ago, they asked me to become the executive director of all of them because the executive director was retiring. I never set my sights on this. I had no idea I would be doing this, but here I am.
Can you explain just what the business kind of is in the ministry?
Yes, we are a counseling service agency ministry. We have state licensed people that work for us. We have people with their masters in social work or mental health or marriage and family therapy. We have a board of directors where we have educators and pastors and businessmen. And our goal is to bring communication skills and counseling into the community as well as into the church and into our offices. So we do one-on-ones, we do group, we do family, we do couples, we do children, and we work with businesses, employers, and employee relationships in kind of custom whatever the client wants.
Mm-hmm.
What is your philosophy on work ethic?
Well, first of all, I believe we need to have a strong work ethic. One of the things that is a hallmark for us, which comes from the Bible, is that if you don't work, you don't eat. So there is the aspect of if we're in a place that we're not able to work because of mental health issues or because we have such a dysfunctional family that it causes us to be so broken down that they cannot work to provide for themselves, our goal would be to help them overcome, to be able to have the life skills, to be able to work, to be able to provide. And that laziness doesn't breed anything that's positive.
Did you, where did you start? You went to college. What did you want to be when you first?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
And so I had gotten my teaching degree, and I started out in teaching and discovered I liked teaching, but I did not necessarily like teaching in the school setting, which was a little bit more constrained. And then I stopped teaching because I had my children, and I did teaching part-time as well as raising my children. And then my husband and I actually became pastors of a church. And I became aware of many counseling ministries in the area, whether it was secular or biblical or crisis pregnancy, mental health, whatever. And through pastoring, I got into contact with a lot of those different avenues.
I think it's okay, actually.
Sorry, I just don't want to do myself. There we go.
Yeah, it's still fine.
And they actually came after me. Another ministry came after me and asked me to start counseling for them. And I received training from them, and I started working with them. And then eventually it just branched off into other areas to where I am now.
Okay.
Who did you model yourself after and why? If you modeled yourself after anyone.
Well, when I was in high school, I had a teacher that was the inspiration for me to want to become a teacher. And she really encouraged me, and she was an awesome teacher. And that's probably why I pursued that. In the field of counseling, the executive director before me of this agency inspired me and actually mentored me. And I just wanted to be able to do what he did. He's in his 80s now, and he's still teaching at the college level, and he's still doing private counseling. So that would be my goal, is to continue on as long as I can.
Are you glad you went for teaching even though that's not what you're doing now?
Absolutely. Everything in your life that you've done is preparation for where you're going. There is nothing wasted. So I am super glad that I had gained skills in teaching, and also I had a minor in counseling, so that was helpful as well. Although I don't know that I would have been, I'll boast here a bit, I am a very good counselor, but I don't believe I would have been a very good counselor if I had started counseling at that age, because some of counseling is maturity, age, and life's experiences.
How do you balance family and work?
Well, when I have 6 children, so when I was raising my 6 children, any work that I did was very part-time, because they were, our family was the primary. When we were pastoring, they were also part of what we were doing, where we went, and so on. It was very, very busy because they were in school as well, and we had to attend to their needs and go with them to their activities and be part of what they were learning to do and how they were going to go as adults. Now it's easier because I'm a grandma and a great-grandma, and all of our children are grown. We have downsized, and we're at an age now where my husband and I are extremely busy doing all the things that we wanted to do. So we spend a lot of time with other people.
What would you recommend for a student who doesn't know what they want to do, like in general? Any advice you have?
Well, first of all, in your first year where you have a lot of gen eds, I would take a lot of varied courses of things that you have some interest in to see what you think about them. I would go out and talk to, like if you're interested in business, go out and talk to business owners, small business owners, maybe in your church or your family or your friend group, parents and other relatives or bosses. You have some contacts where you would have a sphere of influence that you can connect with and get their opinion, their feedback, their advice. In volunteerism, try many, many different avenues of volunteering, and whether it's in medical, whether it's in social, whether it's in a church setting, whatever. Different avenues of life, just to see what sparks your interest. It's good to sample a lot of things in these years that you have. And I can tell you right now, most people do not come out of college and do their life's work in the degree area that they have. They might start there, but that will open doors to other avenues, and any continuing education or hands-on continuing education will open many other avenues, and over a 20, 30, 40-year period, you are going to be doing something probably very different from what you're going to be doing when you first graduate.
So our teacher said that the career you choose now, you'll probably change 3 or 4 times.
That's about right.
So you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
In these days, now back in our grandparents' era, that was not the case. You know, grandpas and great-grandpas, they got a job at a company and they worked there their entire life, and that was more the model then. But we are so mobile and global. There's a lot of moving around and moving to different areas, demographics, and jobs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Would you choose this career if you can make a decision? What would you do differently?
I wouldn't do anything differently. I would do exactly what I'm doing now, and probably on a larger scale. So.
Do you think you might have started, you maybe would have started this before? Because you said you're glad you were a teacher before because it helped you and everything.
Yes. Because I love this and this is my passion. In that sense, I wish I would have been able to start it before, because I'm at an age now where this is what I'll be doing until I'm done working. Yeah. And I love it so much that I would love to do it for a very long period of time. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be able to do what I do now at the ability level and the quality level that I do if I hadn't had those other experiences first.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, but so you're saying that you didn't really like choose this. It kind of just went like you chose the teaching because that's what you wanted to do to begin with, and it kind of just moved on from there.
It morphed into other things. Yes.
Okay.
You know, there is a phrase in the Bible that says, "When you're faithful in little things, then you get more things." And that's exactly what's happened. I was faithful to my teaching job, and it opened up into the next avenue. We were faithful when we were pastoring a church, and it opened up into me counseling as a director in one center. And that opened up into now that I'm executive director over a number of centers. I do a lot of teaching. I teach classes on life skills and communication skills and ability to function in a functional way. So I am teaching, and I wouldn't be able to teach the way I teach now if I hadn't had my first teaching experience. So it all came together for me. In my later years.
Yeah. Would you recommend someone like one of us, if we don't know what to do, to keep on doing our like general education classes, or maybe just take a year off and work, or take a year off and like volunteer, like you said, and do other things like that? Or do you think?
Okay, well, that's different for different people.
Yeah.
Some people need maybe an extra growing space to work and do some volunteerism. But I'm also very much in favor of everybody getting as much education as they can. You know, if I were you, you're in the 2-year program, I would press through and finish that and see where that takes you after that. Maybe that will take you into some type of work that you really enjoy and are looking forward to. And many businesses and work opportunities also provide a way for continuing education, and you might know more what you would like to study next. It is really a personal thing, what your desires are, what you like, but I wouldn't give up. I would just keep pressing forward.
I know you went to college for teaching, but you didn't go to college again for the other things. You just got taught on the job.
I was taught through specific schools. It would be where I would go to an 18-month school specifically designed for counseling. I have a lot of certificates. I don't specifically have a master's in counseling. But to be the director, I don't necessarily need that. And the counselors we have are at all levels. We have pastoral counseling. We have, as I said, marriage and family therapy counseling. We have mental health counseling. We work alongside, for instance, Water Street Medical Clinic, the health services. We provide counseling there. We also work in Lancaster County Prison. We teach classes and provide counseling to the women there. I work in 2 different residential homes, one for single moms and their children, and another one for ex-offenders, women coming out of prison that are transitioning back into life. So we counsel in many locations. And again, as I said, I've worked with employers and employees on their actual business site. So yeah, it's varied.
Do you have a favorite, like, area that you like to counsel in? Like a favorite kind of person to give advice to, if you know what I mean?
For me personally, I love teaching.
Okay.
So I love doing all the classes that I teach. I love counseling one-on-one with women, probably the older women, 30s on, 40s, 50s. We have some 60s. I have several counselors that work very well with the teen girls and the girls in their 20s and up to age 30. So our counselors all have an area of expertise. So we try and divert clients in those areas to those counselors.
Do you counsel any kids at all?
Yes, we do. Okay. Yeah, we have a counselor who works with children. Probably the youngest we've had was 4. I would say we do best with those that are 7, 8, 9, 10 on up.
That makes sense. I can't think of any other questions. Do you have any more?
I don't have any more questions on
Do
this.
you? What else about your job?
Okay, the least part I like is the administrative piece, because I am not administrative, and I do have a volunteer, but I also have an employee who's the administrative assistant. But there's still some, because we have 3 centers that I do here at this center, that is then fed to the central location. But that is my least favorite thing to do. If I could get rid of that, I would be happy to get rid of that.
So, because you're director, you have to like do the administrative part, and then, but you're also doing the same. Like, are you doing the same amount of counseling that the people who other counselors do?
No, I don't. I've had to scale back a lot on my own personal counseling, because I need time to do. Prepare for the teachings, to do executive director work, going out to the community, speaking, talking to other business people or other locations, overseeing the other centers that everybody's working efficiently or they need help, do training to the staff. So yeah, I do a lot. I wear a lot of different hats. So as I say, if I could get rid of that administrative piece, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I need to have a Charlotte.
Yeah, a lot. Do you have any like other like interests that you think like you wish you might have gone into? Like I know you're happy where you're at now, but is there anything else that's always interested you?
I'm really creative, and I've done a lot in the area of music and drama and those kinds of things. Wasn't real practical for me, but I would have loved to have been able to experience that. I did on the local level, like plays and summer theaters and those kinds of things, and that is really, really fun, and I really enjoy that. But as a career, that's really, really rough, and you have to be really, really good. And it's a very small amount of people that really become successful in that field.
Yeah, I know, and you have to practice so much.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't leave a lot of time for other things. It's very focused. The other thing I might have enjoyed would have been in the medical field. I know there was a clinic that was, because I have an aptitude towards that. It was trying to encourage me to become an LPN at one point. And I probably would have enjoyed that as well. But it's mostly because I love serving and helping people. So any profession where you're serving and helping people, I think if I would have been able to be successful in that, I would have enjoyed that as well.
I don't know even how to ask this, but do you have any other advice for someone who like I don't really want to go into teaching, but if I want to go into something, like for example, I want to go into like the health and fitness field, do you suggest just trying to start out like that kind of area, and then maybe once I get into college and everything, I'll figure out possibly what I exactly want to do?
Wow. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about that field. How much biology or physiology you need to have to be a personal trainer, because you need to know how all the muscles and the bone structure and everything functions, so that you're keeping people safe. Or whether it's the nutrition end of that, the whole wellness end of that. I don't know. I would suggest you do a lot of research, like what are all the opportunities available in that field. See whether you can get some kind of part-time work at a gym, even if you're just the scheduler or the clean up the towels or whatever it is, just so you can see how it works, how it operates. Watch the trainers and see if that is something you would really be interested in or not.
I know. I've heard it's very competitive right now. I mean, at this point, it's very competitive right now.
Okay. Well, it is a huge field. Everybody wants to be physically fit, but everybody wants to hire a trainer, but you got to do the work. I have clients that come in and they want me to fix them quickly. We are in an age of instant. And so we do not have magic staples buttons to push and automatically things are fixed. And I believe in the physical fitness field, it's the same way.
Yeah.
People have to come to grips with that. You know, it takes a lot of hard work to become physically fit, or it takes a lot of hard work to become emotionally fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the person themselves has to make the decision. The trainer or the counselor can't do that for them.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna check what our time is. But I think I have to put in my class. I don't know.
I just thought of him. I should.
I said a lot. Maybe if you like put it all together, maybe 20 minutes. Do you have to say anything? Like, can you add your own introduction?
Oh, it was 20 minutes. Do you
20
think we're
minutes.
good? She said 20 minutes is fine because the first part was like us figuring out what we were going to talk about.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe you can do an introduction or something
Oh,
on
yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
to